our torchbearers from Tennessee's win over Mississippi State. And man, we got a lot of them. I'm going to start with Colton Hood. Our torchbearers in Tennessee's 41-34 overtime win over Mississippi State. The leader of this group is Colton Hood. Colton Hood had a pick six in the game. It was a crucial pick six, and it was early, and it sparked things for Tennessee, which are struggling offensively in the first quarter, first half. You got to give Colton Hood credit. The pick six was a huge deal. Colton Hood's pick six allows him a spot on our list as one of the torchbearers. That play alone was so big. You just can't undersell how big, even though, and by the way, he also had 2 tackles for a loss. He had 2 tackles for a loss and a pick six, was all over the field, 6 total tackles, 4 solo. Now, tackles is not the best stat for a cornerback specifically, but when 2 of them are tackles for a loss, they are. So Colton Hood is one of our torchbearers, one of the players of the game, balled out for Tennessee. Our next torchbearer is this, and it's an underrated one, but it is not really underrated. I apologize for that. He is Tyree West. Now, I want to give an honorable mention on this one to Joshua Josephs, who had 1.5 tackles for a loss and returned a fumble for a touchdown. And I also want to give a shout out to Caleb Herring, who had 1.5 sacks. However, the star of the defensive line, by the way, more shout outs. Bryson Easton had half a tackle for a loss and a pass deflection. Tyree Weathersby had half a tackle for a loss. Got to give them all credit. And with Colton Hood, when I want to go back, I want to give Jalen McMurray a credit for a tackle for a loss and a pass deflection. But the biggest star up front was Tyree West, who had 2 sacks on the day, 3 tackles overall, 2 solo, both sacks, and had a strip sack that changed the game that Joshua Josephs recovered for a touchdown. Tyree West deserves a huge shout out for his play. He is a torchbearer for Tennessee. Our next torchbearer is Chris Brazzell II. Now, Tennessee had 200 yards receivers. Mike Matthews had 6 catches for 118 yards. Chris Brazzell had 6 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown alone is not what puts Chris Brazzell on this list. Mike Matthews deserves a shout out, though. The touchdown and the fact that he didn't have any drops. He had key clutch catches throughout the game. Mike Matthews, despite his play, and he deserves a lot of credit, Mike Matthews had a bad drop. Mike Matthews had a bad drop in the first half that would have resulted in a touchdown and would have given 150 yards receiving and a touchdown. Braylon Staley had a couple of nice catches, but at the end of the day, he had a bad drop and a fumbled punt return. And Miles Kitselman, to his credit, despite the 2 drops that resulted in interceptions, he also had 4 catches for 42 yards. He's just got to be better with his hands. But Chris Brazzell's the star of the receivers. Back to the defense real quick. Arian Carter. Guys, let's give the man some credit. All right. I have been very, very, very critical. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but Tennessee's defense wasn't good throughout the game. I disagree. Tennessee held Mississippi State to 378 total yards, including overtime, 378 total yards, and they forced multiple turnovers. There were other issues involved of why Mississippi State scored 34 points, most notably Tennessee's offense, turning the ball over. Okay. Defense was largely fine in a lot of ways, and Arian Carter finally emerged for Tennessee in the way we've expected him to. He had 17 total tackles, 6 of which were solo, to go with a pass deflection. Major shout out to Arian Carter. Arian Carter is a star. He balled out for Tennessee in this game. 17 tackles, 6 of which were solo, and a pass deflection. Arian Carter is a torch bearer. And finally, the torchbearer is Joey Aguilar. 24-40, 335 yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions, but also ran for 21 yards and another touchdown, and neither interception was his fault. He had 356 total yards. Joey Aguilar steps up in SEC games. Homeboy steps up in SEC games. He averaged 8.4 yards per attempt, and he was a baller in this game. You got to give him credit. I mean, Joey Aguilar is a little reckless sometimes, and we're still going to point that out. But while he's reckless, he is also fun to watch, and he is clutch, and you have to give him the credit he deserves. Joey Aguilar coming through, completing 60% of his passes for 335 yards, averaging 8.5 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, while also running for a touchdown and 21 rushing yards.